Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brewed Thoughts podcast. This is German coming to you on this Tuesday for our NBA Tuesday pod. So I pulled Harry to join me. He's going to join me again on Thursday for that pod on baseball, but I got tired of doing this one alone, so I wanted some company for this one. So we're doing some basketball. We're going to do some, but at the top, we're going to start with some Deshaun Watson and the Virgil Ortiz. So let's start with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has gone from being everyone's favorite guy. I don't think I had ever seen so much support for an athlete who had requested a trade. And I think
Since Anthony Davis, right?
no, but even Anthony Davis, there wasn't the support, because what you would hear from from the media or whatever was, yeah, the Texans did him dirty. He needs to get traded. They told him he would have a seat at the table, and he doesn't. So it was like this whole thing of Deshaun Watson deserves to be traded, and I hadn't seen that ever. And the people that criticized him, I think Brett Favre was one of them, were kind of quieted down real quick by other people. And then like a week ago or so, there was this like it was like on a Friday. It was just very like, hey, Deshaun Watson is being accused of sexual misconduct, and you're like, oh, interesting. And then there was that whole belief that the lawyer who's representing the client or the girl that's accusing Deshaun Watson is the lawyer for the owner of the Texans. So there was this belief that this was the Texans were planning this or whatever, which would be a weird move. Like if you don't want, because the Texans have been very clear they don't want to trade the guy. It'd be interesting. It's a weird move for your tactic to be, we're just gonna plant
We're gonna sue him.
a sexual misconduct on him so that he
Yeah,
could get in legal trouble. Since
you got
then,
you gotta love the internet, man. You gotta love the internet. You gotta love all his conspiracy theories. You gotta love him.
since then, all these people have came out. Well, not all these people. There's over 20 counts. There's 14 women, according to a woman who is accusing Deshaun Watson of assault or sexual misconduct. I guess we should call it sexual assault and inappropriate conduct. That's what's been filed against Deshaun Watson. She calls him a serial predator.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So it's one of those things that, and obviously we don't know what's going on, and so we're not going to get in here and do anything crazy like that. I just think, why aren't people talking about this? Why isn't this leading everything? This is kind of one of those like, let's brush it away, and maybe because we don't know anything. But when Antonio Brown stuff came out, he was like front page news. Everybody had an opinion. I don't know why Deshaun Watson is not being put on display. I don't know. You don't get the mob of angry women who are coming against Deshaun Watson. I haven't seen any of that. And it's interesting that, for a long time when any of this came out, nobody took the approach of wait and see with anybody.
Yeah.
You got
no, not at all.
You got accused of something. Oh, he's the worst. And you didn't wait for the details to come out. And maybe there is growth. Maybe Deshaun Watson has had everybody growing and everyone is waiting to see what's happening, but it's a weird thing. And obviously we're going to keep an eye out, and we're going to,
I think it's just the type of woman he was with, I guess. I don't know. It could be that.
what do you
money grabbing woman. Well, back then it was about the money grabbing. They didn't care. They didn't care about the people's, how well you take care of that female during that time.
but it's
It's
so weird.
crazy. It went from trade to this, like just a curveball, and then that's not doing any favors for anybody that wants to trade for him
No,
because nobody wants to deal with that.
no,
Nobody wants to deal with the outcome of all this, or whatever, wherever it's going to end up going.
right.
So I don't. The internet is so funny to laugh at that. All these conspiracy theories of this and this that they planted this on him. Nah, it, it happened, and we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. Um, it's crazy, dude. Like you said, it just throws me off. Like I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, same.
It's
Yeah,
it's like I'm trying to think for the guy, and I'm trying to think for the team. Like I'm trying to like give both sides the benefit of the doubt, and it's tough to go either way. It's really really hard, and like
yeah.
I don't know, man.
This has taken a turn for the worse, and every day it seems like another one comes out, and another one,
Oh,
and
yeah,
another one,
yeah,
and it is so unreal. So obviously, we'll keep monitoring it, but uh, I felt like we, as people who have a podcast and who
yeah.
we pride ourselves on the sports stuff, and we talk about anything. Um, I felt like we had to say something about this Deshaun Watson stuff. That obviously is weird. It's complicated. Um, if the allegations are true, his career is over.
Yeah. You
Because
know the crazy
he's
part
in jail time.
that actually came up to my head is like maybe it could be the shootings, the last two shootings we had, Atlanta and Colorado yesterday.
Hmm.
It could be that. Maybe that's more important. I don't know. And the news will be in news, and I kind of stay away from politics. And I always told you from day one, I'll never put politics and sports
Yeah, yeah,
together. So it could be. I don't know. It's a wait and see. Maybe on Thursday we can have more in depth more in depth conversation because we'll find out more and we'll have more information and we can go from there. If you want to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. So we'll keep obviously looking at it, and we'll continue to have discussions on these things. But um, yeah, yeah, super weird. Let's jump to a not so serious note.
Right?
Um, Virgil Ortiz fought this weekend. He fought against Maurice Hooker. Um, Ortiz looked good. He's 22, and he's easy to watch because he just punches and goes forward and the whole thing. Um, and he had a game plan to just attack his opponent, which made it easy for Hooker to do a few things, to counterattack him and to fight him at his own game, because obviously Hooker's a guy who's gonna exchange with you, which made the fight interesting.
Which that's what you said. That's what you said. I was
Yeah,
thinking about. I was watching the fight. I was
yeah.
watching the highlights actually.
Hmm.
Because watching UFC. I was watching the highlights on it and I was like, damn, Jermaine called it. Jermaine called it like it is, and I'm still not gonna believe about the Canelo, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this specific fight.
I gained one credibility point in your book,
Oh
which
yeah,
is good. Which
yep.
is good enough. It's good enough for me. Um, and then obviously after that, Terrence Crawford was there and Earl Spence was there, and the whole thing of is he ready to fight Terrence Crawford? He is not ready. Earl, like, there's levels to this, and there's levels to in sports. There's levels to all these things, and it's great when a fighter is able to beat a person, and you're like, man, this guy's sick, whatever. They could wait 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Virgil Ortiz would get beat by Terrence Crawford over and over and over again.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so maybe I think this leads to is he ready? No, but he never will be. So I think if you love Virgil Ortiz like that, that's cool. That's fine. I mean, he's a young, exciting fighter with an exciting style. But there's levels to this, and I think more than anything else, I was thinking about the criticism the boxing gets now, and I think the criticism boxing gets now, it's fair sometimes, it's unfair in other times, and I'll defend boxing here and there, but one of the things that's indefensible about the sport of boxing right now is Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford not fighting. And I think that's where, as a boxing fan, I have to just I stay quiet and I just let the criticism come, because it is there's no reason why these guys should not be fighting. They're the best at 147. They have all the belts. Fight. And
Yeah.
both of them are in this stupid little fight of, well, we'll see. And what, both of them think that they're the A side. And I just wish one of them would humble themselves to humble the other guy. I wish one of them would humble themselves in the negotiation so that they can humiliate the other guy and improve. And I hate how entitled both of those guys are.
They
And
all want 60-40, right? The 60-40
yeah.
first.
And I just wish one of them would say, you know what, take it. Take the 60, take the 40. I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to show you that I'm the better guy and I'm the bigger fighter. And obviously this has led to Terrence Crawford over the weekend. I think maybe he was talking to you, Harry, because this dude came out and he was saying that Canelo is afraid of Charlo and Andrade, and he even went as far as to say Canelo is afraid of that black fighters give Canelo trouble, so therefore he ducks black fighters, which I think is a ridiculous accusation. And I think
just putting the black in that
yeah. I
sentence.
just think it's so crazy to suggest that. It's one thing to not like Canelo's style, and you can accuse Canelo of many things, but you can't accuse him of being a boogie of ducking people. You can't. He fights Golovkin when Golovkin was the boogeyman. How you think those fights went is irrelevant, but he took those fights. He takes the Mayweather fight when everybody was telling him don't do it. He got beat, but he takes the fight. He fights all these guys when they tell him not to. And so regardless of how it ends, that's irrelevant, but he takes those fights. Terrence Crawford, I like Terrence Crawford, but it was one of those things I was like, man, you should be worried about fighting Errol Spence, not talking about Canelo. And I think that's where I think we have to start making the difference between these. And it reminded me of
he would have to go up, right? If you would want to fight him, Canelo.
Oh, yeah, he would have to go up a lot.
What, 30, 40 pounds?
Yeah, something, because that 147. No, not that much. Canelo's at 168. So 19,
25.
Yeah,
19,
something like
20.
that.
That's a lot. That's still a lot.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it reminded me, what's that guy? The guy we talked about, Silver Bender. What's his name? Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya? Yeah.
It's
Adesanya, yeah.
Yeah, so it reminded
MMA, you have to say MMA.
Yeah. It reminded me of him because he, watching the fight, the last one where he lost.
Yeah.
It was a fight that his trainers wanted him to take because they felt they can do it. And it was one of those like, hey, if we win, great. If not, we learn from it. And I love that. I love when a fighter is willing to challenge themselves like that. And Terrence Crawford right now and Errol Spence are both divas who don't want to fight each other and are talking about people and fighters that are willing to get in the ring and expose themselves, because that's the risk you run when you fight the best. But
well, even Joshua Fury,
yeah,
I thought that was never going to happen, and they figured it out, and it happened.
Yeah,
and I don't know why it's a 2-fight deal, but that's beyond me.
It's a 2-fight deal because both of them are champions, and if one of them loses, it's
there's going to be 3 fights. Essentially, it's going to be 3 fights.
Maybe.
Essentially, yeah.
Which I think it's great. I think, hey, the more the merrier. I think Joshua's going to win. Well, yeah.
I think Fury's going to win.
Yeah, well, most people have Fury. I'm sticking with my guy Joshua, but we'll see. Obviously, that's going to
see. That's far from.
That's going to be a hell of a fight when that happens.
Yeah.
And so we'll get into that when that approaches. But yeah. let's get into the NBA.
Let's do it.
So NBA, we have. Let's start with the Hawks. So we have our list of teams. We'll start with Atlanta. Atlanta has been playing a lot better since they fired their coach. Atlanta, the Hawks have it was they hated their coach. I was reading this. Their coach was Lloyd Pierce, and they hated that guy. And ever since
with the passion.
Yeah, and ever since Nate McMillan took over, they've played a lot better. The rotations have been better. But I was hearing this thing, which I thought was interesting. It was the Athletic has this annual like little questionnaire that they do with the players, and it's anonymous, so you never know who said what. But one of the questions was, who's a coach you don't want to play for? And somebody in Atlanta Hawks said, well, can I say my coach? And so they hated Lloyd Pierce. And
hey, Nate McMillan is respectable, man. I like that guy.
Yeah. Nate McMillan, like everywhere he's gone, people respect him, and he's a solid coach. He has the Hawks right now in their last 10. They're 8-2. They beat the Lakers on was a Sunday or Sunday?
Yeah,
Sunday. When LeBron went down against.
LeBron went down that game.
It was Saturday. It was Saturday because then the Lakers played Phoenix on Sunday. But they beat the.
But that was the game LeBron went down, right?
Yeah, he went down against the Hawks. They beat the Lakers, and then they lose yesterday. Inexplicable way. They choked the game. They were up by like 22, but they've been playing way better. And Gallinari looks like a different guy. There was talks that they were going to trade Collins, and he looks better now.
I always like Collins coming up, especially his rookie year. He's good.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
And rebounder, dude.
Yeah. So they've played a lot better. Even Bogdanovich, he's given them like 20-something points off the bench now. It's a different team, and heading into, they were in the lower seeds. They're up to the 5th seed, and
in the week,
and it just speaks to the importance of coaching. I see this, and when you are able to sell your team on anything,
your vision, your vision.
Mm-hmm. You're able to get results, and the Hawks have definitely have turned it around after their inconsistent start. They are playing a lot better, and they are climbing up the standings, and so they're going to be an interesting team to watch as we head into the stretch run of the regular season and heading into the playoffs. They're going to be very interesting because they can muster up enough offense to play with anybody, and McMillan is a really good defensive coach who can scheme
their defense
looks
excellent against the Lakers.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Hawks. But what have you seen with them, and have you liked what you've seen?
Well, just defensively, just the whole change in just the chemistry and just the culture. I would say culture change. And like it's been my theory or my philosophy in life. It's like you work for your manager, you always work for your boss, and if you don't like your boss, you're not going to work for him. Same thing here.
Yeah,
same thing. You can tell the difference in two teams between then and then now. I think they still missing a piece. I think they're a piece away from competing against the hierarchy of the East. I think they're about a piece away.
Yeah,
big piece. I think they need a ball handler. I would say maybe a ball handler. I think shooting they're good. They have a good shooting perimeter around them. I think they need maybe a ball handler. Maybe Lonzo. Lonzo comes up into my mind because I know he's been in trade talks. I think Lonzo
would be an interesting. I don't know if they have enough. They would probably have to give up somebody good to get Lonzo, which would disrupt them. And then
maybe some draft picks.
But then you have Rondo in there. You have Rondo. You have you have Trey Young, you'd get a very loaded.
Yeah, but Trey Young's a good shooter. He ball handling. He's getting there. He's not there yet. I think they need that guy to just to control the floor, even off the bench. Lonzo can come off the bench. I don't see him as a starter. I never seen him as a starter even when he was a Laker. He can always come off the bench and lead the second unit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be an interesting move. But yeah, I think heading into the season, the Hawks had a plan. Their plan was to make the playoffs, which was confusing to me because they did
and
all.
they went on and bought people.
Yeah, and so now it looks like that GM made the decision, and I think that their GM was in trouble because if it doesn't work out, if you don't make it, and the GM is Travis Schlenk, if they don't make it to the playoffs, and you already hired Lloyd Pierce, you fired Lloyd Pierce. That was
Yeah,
it. That's the only scapegoat you can have, to fire your coach once. And
yeah,
so, seeing everything work out this way, he's able to go to ownership and say, "Hey, we see the coach. It was a coach, and the Hawks are definitely a different team now with Nate McMillan than they were with Lloyd Pierce." Let's
yeah,
talk about the. I think the talk of the NBA ever since they got James Harden. Let's start with the Brooklyn Nets. They are a team that we have yet to see them consistently healthy.
yeah.
This week, Kyrie Irving said he's not playing this week. One of the things
That
that's
bothers me. It's
yeah,
just personal. Every single time, it's like personal,
yeah.
personal.
One of the things that was funny, I was watching this video, this TikTok video,
Yeah,
and it was one of those conspiracies, and it was the conspiracy is I think Kyrie Irving's birthday is today. And so the conspiracy is that
it is.
Kyrie Irving isn't playing this week because he's going to celebrate his birthday. Which I don't think it's true,
No,
but
that's not
it's
true.
funny to suggest that.
He's been a weird little cat. He's been a weird cat. I ever since Kobe's passing, he's been a different guy. He's just been a
Yeah,
different player. And then now look at the opportunity as one of the, I say, top 10, three of the top 10 players in the world, or 2 and 3 with him, playing
yeah,
with him, and you're still pulling this antics out of you. Like, what's
yeah,
going on? Like, there's something going on with him. It's not him not being happy with the Nets. I think it's just, I don't know. His mind's just not there. I don't think he loves the game anymore. I think he already. That's what it seems to me when I see it. Like, he doesn't love the game no more. Like, he can miss games like nothing happens. This is
mhm,
what, the third time this year that he does it. Second or third time this year he
yeah,
does the personal thing.
hmm
It's like can't you just come out in the media and say, because you're letting your teammates down. You're one of the leaders in the locker room. You're
yeah,
just saying, hey, you know what? I could take a day off. I'm the star. I don't want to. Yeah, and that's the thing. When you come up with a team that has a bunch of stars, you can't do that stuff. You have to go out and play, because you have those bench players and those extra, pretty much the bench players watching you and see how you're reacting, and they're gonna follow your lead. Right now, that's what I see. That they don't have a leader in the locker room. You can give Harden maybe the leader of the locker room, but you see how that went in the Rockets, how far they went.
yeah.
Durant is injured half of the time. I don't think he's ever been back since his Achilles injury, and then Kyrie's just headed just up his butt. You know?
Yeah, it's been an interesting watch because when Harden first got there, he was doing all the right things, saying all the right things. He was even playing help defense pretty well. He was passing the ball, and over the last few weeks, he's reverted back to. If you watch the Brooklyn Nets now, the Brooklyn Nets are basically running the Houston Rocket system with Harden, especially that right now that Durant's not playing, and especially and this week that that Kyrie's not going to be playing as well. This is Harden's Houston team all over
You
again.
mean D'Antoni system?
Exactly, and D'Antoni's what the lead assistant
D'Antoni, Coach
in
Nash.
Brooklyn. Yeah, so it's one of these things that Harden, and I talked about it in I think last week on the pod when I did the MVP thing. Harden is climbing up these ranks on the MVP, and with Embiid being out, with LeBron going down this weekend,
Yeah.
all of a sudden there is a world where if Durant, I think it came out yesterday, he's going to miss another 2 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie's going to continue to miss time. LeBron's not supposed to be back for a month or so. Uh, we don't. Philly's going to be very careful with Embiid. Jokic
Yeah.
is the one that's playing well, and if Denver keeps climbing and keeps playing better, maybe he goes up. And obviously, Giannis has been playing ridiculous. But all of a sudden, there is a world where Harden can win the MVP again, which was inconceivable a few
It's
weeks ago.
crazy. I
And
know.
so,
It's crazy to think like, but you can make a valid argument with him,
yeah,
especially with
yeah,
people being down and they're winning.
hmm
And that's the thing that people look at, that if they're winning or not. You know,
yeah.
um, I I don't know. I, I think I never put it on record, especially with you. I can't watch Harden play.
Right.
I hate watching games that Harden plays. You know, how he draws fouls. It's just the way he. I don't know. His style is it. Yeah, it belongs in the NBA, but come on, man. Like things that he gets away with, like I don't know. I think Giannis would be the MVP if it were my eyes and my vote would go there.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those Harden's. I think Harden. You like Harden if he's on your team. I don't know anybody who really likes basketball who looks at Harden play and say, "Yeah, I love the way he plays basketball," because it's not fun. It's he
Nah,
dribbles, and then takes a step back three, or he passes at the last minute, and
or,
it's not
or puts
fun.
his left hand under your hand or your
Yeah, yeah,
arm, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
it
yeah.
goes up, and then or bumps
Yes,
into you and then fouls. Like, oh my god, are you
it's
serious?
it's the worst. So I mean, but Brooklyn obviously is in good shape. They are playing well. They are doing everything they need to stay at the top 1-2 seeds. And I think if this week can become very interesting because Philly obviously isn't playing with Embiid, and can Brooklyn lock up the number 1 seed? Not that it's going to matter, I don't think, who's the number 1
No.
seed, but I think it's definitely one of those things where that is a race now, especially with Embiid out. And
With all these injuries,
yeah,
actually in the NBA, it's anybody's game now, even the West. Yeah,
yeah,
we're talking about the East, but dude, all these injuries is going crazy.
yeah. And obviously Brooklyn has Blake now, and I don't think that means anything
He scored what, two
per
points
se.
the first game?
Yeah, and I think it's funny. Blake Griffin is playing a game right now of the guy who doesn't have it anymore. So he's doing things that makes you think he has it because
Yeah,
he passes the ball, he keeps the ball moving, and he's
he
cutting,
dunked.
and he's doing these things that makes you think like, oh wow, hey, Blake Griffin. But
Yeah.
that's a sign of a guy who doesn't have it anymore, and isn't able to keep up with the game the way is being played now. So it's going to be interesting to see. Um,
Oh, once we get to that team, I'll talk about somebody that reminds me of him too.
okay,
There's
so
somebody that reminds me of Blake Griffin.
and so I think the Nets are an interesting team. Obviously, they're gonna be right there at the end. So we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, it's all built on how how many games can we see Durant play together, because I think he's the key. We've seen Harden, we've seen Kyrie. This team is scary if all three of them are playing, and we have yet to see that on a consistent basis. Let's talk about the.
It, if they get all together, do you think they'll win it all?
Depends on
just
AD
before.
and LeBron. If AD and LeBron are healthy, I think the Lakers are going to win the title.
Well, that's a fact. They're going to be healthy.
But if they're not healthy, if AD has this lingering injury all year, then yeah, I think Brooklyn is capable of doing it. I like Philly, but obviously we'll see what kind of Embiid we get down the stretch. Is he going to be
Yeah.
out of shape? Is he going to keep getting injured? Brooklyn definitely has one of the teams has a team to beat and compete with anybody if they're healthy. Obviously, that goes for everyone. Let's talk about the Cavs, which obviously isn't a sexy team. They were more exciting earlier in the year, and
Oh
since
yeah. And drop
they've
down.
they've dropped down. What have you seen from Cleveland, and that gets you excited for the future? Because obviously they're not going to compete this year for anything.
It's hard to see anything for the future. It's hard. It's really, really hard to see something for the future. I think right now, I think it depends on the trades that are going to go down. I think that it depends on what they're going to get back. The Cavs on TV because there's no plan. There's nowhere that they're going to head to. It's just I know most of these, like I said earlier, most of these kids are going to get sold. Most of these guys are going to get sold or traded. Sorry, or released or something. It's just a hard watch right now. I just see them going down the standings instead of going up. Maybe a lottery team. Or most
Yeah,
likely a lot of teams are.
yeah. Things are bleak in Cleveland, and I do like Sexton. I do like Garland. I do like those guys. Obviously, Kevin Love we haven't seen in a really long time. Um,
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be a. I don't think he's gonna be a Cav anytime soon. He's gonna
yeah,
be released or something's gonna happen.
yeah. It's so, and obviously the big thing is what's going to happen with Andre Drummond. I
But
think he's
yeah,
going.
I said he's gonna get traded. So I said I think that's what's gonna end up happening. I know
Yeah,
you said
I think
I
so
know you,
too.
I know you said it's a big amount of money that he has on his contract. It's gonna be hard to move, but I think that's the only way. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Because to be bought out, he's too productive and too expensive to be bought out.
I think
And
Delavadova already saw his best years behind him.
yeah. Delavadova is done, and I think the guy that can be traded and it would be an interesting trade piece would be Larry Nance. Um, but we'll see.
Back to back to the Lakers
I mean, I would take him right now.
or McGee back to the Lakers.
Yeah, or McGee. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what type of team we get from them going forward. But it's definitely a team that needs something. They need an injection of just hope that they don't have right now, and it's tough. It's tough. So at least they got that title in what 20 the 2017-2016 title. So they got something. Let's jump to the let's round up the East. Let's do some Pistons talk.
Mm-hmm.
Which like Cleveland,
Bottom of the
hope
barrel.
bottom of the barrel, hopeless, nothing exciting. I mean, unless you consider watching Jeremy Grant shoot a bunch of shots exciting. It's a team that I hate watching this team. just I
And more
just
than the Cavs.
I do because at least at the Cavs I get those two fun point guards. That their guards are fun.
Yeah, makes
Sexton and
sense.
Garland are
Yeah,
fun. Jared Allen can make a good play on defense, but and Larry Nance, has he can do something exciting with some dunks and stuff. I just I watch the Pistons and I'm just like, man, like what is this? What is
rebuilding, rebuilding.
I
We're going through
guess,
them.
but even rebuilding teams, there's a guy that you're like, okay, I want to watch this guy. This guy, I want to see his development. And I mean, maybe Killian Hayes, maybe he's somebody that you look at and you say, okay, I want to watch this guy ball, but I don't know, man. For the Pistons, I think it's a team that is going nowhere fast. I think Jeremy Grant was a pickup that, I mean, you have to pay somebody, I guess, but I don't. I mean, if you're telling me that your what you've decided to do with your team is that you're going to pay somebody, you're going to pay
Just to get
Jeremy
rid of
Grant to
them.
run your team. I'm out. I'm good. I don't want that. That is not exciting to me at all. And so it's a team that I don't know. I don't know what they're
It's
doing.
hopeless.
I just to me that they're more hopeless than Cleveland, because Cleveland, at least you go through the roster and you're able to say, okay,
You get the guards. Like,
we can put things together. We can put a decent team that we're able to draft well. We're
yeah,
going to be frisky.
but
I don't see,
Detroit.
I don't see that with Detroit, but
There's no Detroit basketball.
no, that is far. That is in the past, my friend.
Ben Wallace is already with his gray hairs.
Yeah, Ben Wallace isn't walking through that door, so it's sad. It's a sad scene in Detroit, a very proud basketball city.
Basketball town. Yeah.
Yeah, so sad times in Detroit. Let's go to the West. Let's start with the Grizz. Memphis is, to me, the East version of the
Nets.
Hawks. No, no,
Oh, the
no,
Hawks.
no, not the Nets. The
Oh,
Hawks.
sorry. Yeah, it was the Hawks.
They have a young point guard who's exciting, who's competitive, who's tough.
Oh, yeah.
I love John Morant. He's just super feisty and he's super good. I like their coach. I just like everything about the Grizz, and I think they're obviously ridiculously young, but they are all growing together. And I think what the thing that sucks about Memphis right now is Jaren Jackson hasn't been able to stay healthy. Justice Winslow a few weeks ago barely started playing for them. But I think it's a team that's trending in the right direction. Are they going to win a title next year?
No.
Of course not. But this is a team that's building, and at least one of the things that with them, and kind of one of the things that we were talking about with Detroit, when you look at the Grizzlies, you're able to at least get excited. Dude, you have John Morant. You have a guy, and you already have a leg up on a bunch of teams that don't have a young superstar that I think John Morant is. Before because he had the same injury LeBron had, the high ankle sprain. And before he did that, he was killing it. He was playing great. Since he's came back, he hasn't been the same. He's still
probably scared of driving in.
Yeah, he still looks hobbled, and he doesn't look like the same guy that he looked like in the beginning of the year, which I think it's normal for a young guy to go through that. But what do you think of Memphis?
Well, they're going to be in that playing tournament, so I think they're going to end up being there. They're either going to be at 7 or 10. Right now they're at 10. Yeah. I like Grayson Allen. Ever since college, I've been following them and Duke.
I think he'd be a good addition to the Hawks. That shooter you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. And then Morant's a given. Morant's always a given on that team. They just I, I don't think I think they're a couple years away, maybe a couple of pieces away from competing in the title. I think I, I don't know. I think they're going in the right direction. I think they're let me go get another power forward, a bigger power forward. I think it's Kyle Anderson that they have. He's not tall enough. He's not tall enough to run that position. Um, they need to go get something like a Paul Gasol type of a player, um, which Paul Gasol is not going to come back. He's somewhere
Right,
else
right.
now. I'm just saying that type of player, somebody that passes, somebody that can shoot. I think he's something like that will put him over the hump. That would put him like a fourth, fifth seed. That's what I thought back in Utah. Utah right now is up there in the middle of the top, middle of the top, in the middle of the top. What am I? I think I had too much coffee. I think I had too much coffee this morning. At the top right now, and that's what I thought a few years ago. They remind me of the Utah Jazz a few years ago. They're
Mm,
right there. They're competing.
yeah,
They're young. They have the right pieces. I think they get some more pieces in, and then they'll be there. They'll be there. They'll be
yeah.
there competing with the top teams in the West. I know the West right now is going through a big shift. It depends where the Lakers go. Of course, the Lakers are the sun right now, or the where it starts, and then everything else comes after that. I don't know. I don't think the Warriors are going to come back to their form that they were before. I think this is where they step in. I think this is where Memphis steps in and takes over that spot. It takes over that spot because Utah took over the Clippers spot.
Mm.
I know that's like a strong statement, but they took over the
That's a
Clippers
strong
spot.
take. Yeah.
They and then now the Memphis is going to take over Utah, and that's what I see it right now. That's the way Memphis going to end up. They're gonna be good.
Yeah,
They're gonna
yeah,
be good, and they probably make the playoffs, but it's nothing for them right now. I think out of what they want to get out of the goal that they want to get out of this season, I think just getting some playoff experience. I think that's a big thing for these players. They need it. They need it to move forward to get the next step. Utah again. I bring up Utah a lot, but that's where they remind me of the
yeah,
Utah Jazz a couple of years ago.
yeah, and obviously Golden State with Curry being out, Memphis could easily keep climbing. Um,
Oh yeah,
and so it's a matter. It's gonna be interesting to see just where they end up. But I agree with you. Memphis is a great has a good building block and has a bright future ahead of them. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic, who
my favorite team.
I think I know you said you would give it to Giannis. I'd give the MVP to Nikola Jokic right now. I just I think he's my favorite player to watch. I love watching.
All of a sudden,
What do you
we
mean
just had
all
this
of?
conversation. We had this conversation. I don't, dude, you said he was like he's good, but he's not. It's
No,
not like
Nikola
yeah.
Jokic. I
I'm
love
gonna bring up
Nikola
the footage.
Jokic.
I love him too.
Yeah, I love him. He reminds me of he's like the blend of like the center who can do all things and Dirk Nowitzki. He has like shades of Dirk. I love Jokic and he's super exciting to watch. I think the Nuggets have been
They're
very
fun to
disappointing
watch.
to me. Yeah, they are, but they're disappointing to me from the sample. I just thought they were going to build on the Western Conference Finals appearance from last year.
Yeah.
I think that obviously a guy like Michael Porter has been he's had bad luck throughout the year because he's
He's
just
starting to
been
flourish.
yeah, and he had the COVID thing twice and went through that. Jamal Murray is probably the a very frustrating young player who can't decide if he's going to be good every night, which I hate because I think he's super good. And
Like Tony Parker, maybe. No,
he's like what Donovan Mitchell was last year. Because obviously Donovan Mitchell this year has been more consistent, but that's where I just thought Jamal Murray was going to be good.
where do you put his ceiling at? What's his ceiling? Jamal
See
Murray.
that's what's hard. If he's gonna be good every night, he can be right up there.
No, from
Not
what you're
the
seeing now. From what you're seeing now, is he like a Derek Fisher or is he like a Tony Parker?
no.
Like a Steve Nash? Steve
He's
Nash, maybe.
he's better than Derek Fisher.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Where is the ceiling at? Where is your ceiling? I know Derek Fisher's like the
I
middle
would
of the crop.
say right now he's like a. I think he can be as good as man. What would be the level?
Well, that's why I said Parker. Parker is like
Yeah, I mean,
Parker would make these crazy shots. He can make his shot. He would make his assists. He's a consistent player,
yeah.
but consistent on the floor. If you put him at Steve Nash did a lot more than what Steve Nash pretty much ran the whole floor. He controlled the game. He controlled defense, offense, everything.
Brandon Davis.
Baron Davis.
Baron Davis. Baron Davis.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because
Hey, that's a good one.
because I think Tony Parker is a traditional point guard more than Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is looking to attack.
Like a shooter. Yeah.
Um,
Well, Tony Parker early on in his career, because I know
Right.
late in his career he kind of
right.
he went down. He went down.
Yeah.
He was looking,
Yeah, Jamal
Okay.
Murray, he just needs to be consistent. Just be good. We're not asking you to drop 50 every night. Just
no.
18
That's
and,
what he wants to do.
18 and 8. Can I get 18 and 8 from you? You
Like
play with
20
Nikola
and 8.
Jokic.
Just feed him the ball. Pick and roll all day long.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, but
Brings back our
I like Denver. I think they are a team that's playing a lot better. Obviously, one of the interesting things with them though is there's clearly something going on between Michael Porter and Mike Malone who don't seem to see eye to eye. Mike Malone to me, he's a good coach. He's a solid coach. It's clear his players like him. I wouldn't
He
be
just puts him in at the wrong time, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired. And I know that
Really? That's bold. That's really bold.
this reminds me of there are some times, and you saw it with the Raptors
Yeah.
when they had Casey. What was his name? Casey.
Casey, the coach.
Oh man, it's gonna kill me.
I know.
Dwayne Casey.
It's in
When
my-
they
it's in
when
like
they
this-
had
yeah,
when they
yeah.
had Dwayne Casey, they would win all these games. He's the Detroit coach right now, actually. When they had Dwayne Casey, they won like 50 games. They were in the playoffs. You know, it was
Couldn't
the
get over the
whole,
hump.
we are the North, the whole thing. He wins Coach of the Year, and he gets fired.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Nurse comes in and he wins a title right away. To me, Mike Malone is the guy who's taken Denver as far as he can take them. I think Denver needs a different guy to get them to the promised land.
So he's the Mark Jackson of the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
Jeez. He's there, but he's just
Yeah, he
somebody
has
a
all the
different
pieces.
voice.
I just think there's something missing, and obviously you as somebody who has coached, managed baseball, you know that it's not just you can be the smartest dude ever and you can have
Mhm.
the best players, but if you don't have the it factor, if you don't have the ability to lead your team, it's not going to work. And
No.
you see it just over and over again. Steve Kerr had this pretty much the same team Mark Jackson had, and he was just able to
Yeah.
unlock them in a different way. Phil Jackson, when he
It's a
took
different
over the
swag,
Lakers, yeah, it's different. And so I just think Denver, Mike Malone to me from Denver is the candidate to get fired. I don't know anything, obviously.
Hey, that's
I'm
not a bold
spitballing.
statement. That's a fact.
Yeah,
That seems to happen.
I just think what excuse do you have? You have Nikola Jokic, you have Jamal Murray, you have their GM drafts ridiculously well, so well in fact that he can't afford everybody.
Well, Michael Porter last year looked like he was going to be a next superstar,
Yes,
and then
exactly.
he just went down,
So
down to the ground.
so clearly there's something going on there. I just think I wouldn't be surprised if when their season ends, we get the breaking news: Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets have parted ways.
Or it reminds me of D'Antoni too with the Lakers when
Yeah.
they had Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, Kobe, Paul Gasol, and you just couldn't get it going.
Yeah.
The system just doesn't work in it for him. I don't know. That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a really really good one. And
So
I usually say you're crazy, but in this one you're not crazy on that one.
there you
You're
go.
not crazy at all on this one.
Little by little, I'm gaining more credibility. So that's what's good. Um, and we'll let's talk about the Suns, the Phoenix
Okay.
Suns, the Chris Paul led Suns, the 8-2 in the last 10 games. Phoenix, who is second in the West as of 2:59 on a Tuesday in Los Angeles. He's two.
Dude,
They're
they're
28
2-0
and
against the Lakers.
they're 2-0 against the Lakers. How amazing is Chris Paul?
He goes from Oklahoma City, turns that around, gets going to Phoenix, and then this happens. That's just put him in the Hall of Fame. That's all I say.
Yeah,
Just
I
put the guy in the Hall of Fame.
look. I am not. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I love that Chris Paul's my guy like that. I when he was at the Clippers, I hated his guts and hated just how much he complained. When he went to Houston, the same thing, hated him. When he went to OKC and the job he did there, I was like, man, because obviously he's always
Yeah.
been good. It's not like he's
Yeah.
sucked. And then he's doing this with Phoenix, and I think he's the best leader in the NBA.
That's a bold statement.
I think he's the best leader in the NBA,
More than LeBron?
more than LeBron.
That's now look, you went from a sane statement to a crazy statement.
No,
That's
no, no.
crazy.
Look. Let's.
I'll let you explain yourself. Let me go explain yourself.
If Chris Paul was 6'5", not even 6'8", just 6'5".
So 2 more inches.
No, he's not 6'2", is he? 6'3". He's smaller than that. Anyway, if Chris Paul was 6'5", 6'6", I think
5 more inches.
So Chris Paul would be. He'd probably have a few rings.
You think so?
I
I think he went to the wrong places.
I just think one of the things we've learned about the NBA is it's the longer a guy plays and the further you go into the playoffs, height matters. It really does.
Yeah.
And a taller guy is able to endure more and suffer more. I just think Chris Paul, what he does with the teams he has had is next level. We praise LeBron for what the thing he did in Cleveland, not the second time, the first time around. I think this is as impressive. Chris Paul.
So LeBron won that title for Cleveland, not Kyrie Irving, who hit that game-winning 3-point shot.
No, but that's what I mean. I'm not talking about the second time. I'm talking about the first time when
he got drafted.
Yeah, and he was taking it to the playoffs, the whole thing.
Oh, okay. With the nobodies, with the Gooden, with the Dwight Goodens.
Yeah, Larry Hughes, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just think Chris Paul, we forget this dude had New Orleans competing in the beginning.
Yeah.
He had the Clippers. I mean, if it wasn't for, a few things here and there, that Clipper team should have won a title. That
If it weren't
first,
for the Warriors.
yeah, that first, but even like that first Warriors title, Blake Griffin in that playoffs was playing like the second best basketball player in the world.
Yeah.
He was amazing in those playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chris Paul got injured and all that, but I just think if things break differently here and there, Chris Paul is a champion, and we're talking about him very different. And watching Phoenix, he has watching them on Saturday and throughout the season, one of the things that just stands out is this is a Chris Paul team.
Yeah.
His fingerprints are everywhere in that team. And it's impressive.
He figured it out. He's not gonna win. Might as well change his legacy that way. I think they're gonna put him in not for his wins, but for the things he's done, his stats and the way he's been with these teams. Oklahoma, that impressed me, dude. That was very impressive.
And look, we are in a very. This year is weirder than last year.
You think so?
1,000%. Because last year, at least, the circumstances were different because of the bubble.
Yeah.
But I think this season has been far more strange with COVID, injuries. Everybody thought the season was going to start in like Martin Luther King Day. It started early November. Everything got pushed around. I just think, say AD and LeBron say that they're just not there, which isn't unrealistic.
Not at all.
It's not a crazy thing to say, like, oh, yeah, AD might not play again this year. It's not crazy to say that. You look at the East, as much as I love how Giannis is playing, I think all of us have our protections up. I think all of us are, we got to see it in the playoffs. As great as Embiid has been, what if you get hurt again? And obviously we went through the Brooklyn thing. Are we sure we're going to get Durant for 10 games straight? I know
that's true.
Would it be the crazy? And then Utah, they've been 5-5 in the last 10. I think Utah's coming back to earth. Utah maybe peaked early. Denver's inconsistent, like we just talked about. The Clippers are a mess. Would it be crazy to think that if, say some time traveler comes and it's a, hey, Harry, Phoenix won the NBA title.
I believe it.
It wouldn't be like, no way, get out of here. It'd be like, And it'd be almost as impressive as the Dirk Nowitzki title.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I love Phoenix.
Give me some of whatever you drank. Send it over here, man. Send it over here to Whittier. You're just preaching, man.
Sparkling water and coffee. That's what I've had.
You're just preaching.
I just think, I don't know. I think Phoenix is right there, and with the season the way it's gone, this might be Chris Paul's chance to get a title.
And they were good last year. They were good last year in those the games. I think the playing games. Games.
They were 9-0.
Oh, sorry, the bubble games. Games.
They were 9-0. They need to upgrade that Frank Kaminsky spot. If they're somehow able, from here to Thursday to secure that spot, watch out.
Drummond?
Man, they get Drummond, it's over.
Yeah,
Because
you move Jay Crowder to a three.
because
DeAndre Ayton.
that team is good. And the only thing that just makes me hesitant is that Frank Kaminsky spot. But Phoenix is the real deal. And beating the Lakers on Sunday, that's the good teams win. The good teams beat the Lakers without AD and LeBron the way they did it. A team like the Celtics, a team like the Clippers, a team like the Nuggets, for example, might not win that game. Yeah.
It's a close game.
And Phoenix went into that Laker game and completely from the get-go
ran them out of the building.
From the get-go. We had no chance from the very beginning. That it made me just watching that game on Sunday, it was just like, this is a professional basketball team who's taking care of business. And it's Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the reason why. And we don't know. We might be talking about them in June as the champions, and Chris Paul's entire legacy might be flipped upside down if he's able to do that. But
we'll all remember the statements he said in March.
Yeah. We're a long way from there, but it wouldn't be crazy. I'm not saying they're going to win the title. If you just
it's
look
believable.
At the roadmap, it isn't a ridiculous thing to say. So let's end this on the Lakers, our beloved Lakers, who when AD went down, my whole thing on AD has been take your time. Take your time. Because I think the Lakers don't care about seeding. The seeding don't matter. Let's just get into the playoffs healthy. Hopefully AD is able to come back. Hopefully he's able to feel better. LeBron, it's a high ankle sprain, and this dude is sleeping in hyper balanced chambers, and he's doing everything.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's going to be okay. I think for the Lakers, it's hard to freak out because they've earned the respect, at least for us to give them the benefit of the doubt, that when it's time to ball, they're going to ball. And I think this is the good time for Frank Vogel to try different things. It's been interesting to see the trade market because Montrezl Harrell's apparently in the mix to get traded, and KCP and THT and all that. But I think the key, I would trade Kuzma now.
Really?
I can't stand him. He's my least favorite Laker.
I think you and everybody in the world.
I can't stand him. I'm still mad that we gave up Brandon Ingram instead of Kuzma. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. And I think the Lakers I am surprisingly calm because I just think if we have everybody healthy, we're the best team in basketball. And that's where I stand with the Lakers. Are we going to lose the next few games? Yeah. Is it going to suck watching the Lakers the next few weeks? Yeah. But this is a long play for April, May, for June.
So how far did they drop? They're the third seed now. Maybe go down to the sixth seed?
So look, we get the Pelicans today. The Pelicans have a terrible defense. I think the Lakers can maybe win that. Thursday, they are playing the Sixers. I think we're going to lose that. But you never know. And he's not playing. So, but yeah, I think Philly's playing ridiculous. We get Cleveland on Friday. We should win that. We get the Magic on Sunday, which should be a competitive game. We get Milwaukee next Wednesday. We'll probably lose that. We go to Sacramento, and we those get Sacramento always gets up for the Lakers. So that one's going to be um, a tight one. The Clippers, we get them on Sunday, and we're probably going to lose that. The Clippers will probably take advantage that we don't have anybody. And then the Raptors, Heat, Nets. So it's going to be a rough stretch. I think the Lakers fall. I think no more than 6 if we fall that much. So yeah, I
So
agree with you. I agree
I
with you.
took a tally. 4-7 the next 11 games.
Yeah. So
4-7, dude. I don't know. I'm the same way. I just I'm calm, relaxed. As long as they get in, as long as they get in the top 6 seeds, I'm happy. I'm good.
yeah,
There's probably going to be maybe 20% of fans, maybe what's that? Depending on the building, 3,000, 4,000 people.
yeah,
Depending where you're at. Some of them is going to be 15,000, depending where you're at. You can't quote me on that. So it's going to be an advantage, a small home advantage, but it's not going to be something that these playoff proven players can't handle.
mm-hmm.
And the majority of the roster is playoff proven already. They've been far. Even Harold. Uh, he's been in there. He's been in battle. He's been on the conference finals. He's good. LeBron knows what to do. AD knows what to do. Now he knows what to do. Last year I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
I think the only, if I could put a sour note to it or something that just has me thinking, is the center position. Marcus Gasol. Marcus Gasol has not performed to where I thought he was going to perform. I thought we got Paul Gasol in a second. He reminds me a lot of your comparison to Blake Griffin. Remember I said earlier, somebody reminds me of Blake Griffin. Same exact thing. He's trying too hard. He doesn't have it anymore, and that's a known fact. He can't. I don't know. I think Harold's more of a stronger player in that position than Gasol. I think when Gasol comes back, you never know. It might waive him, might drop down in the rotation, or depending what happens in the trading deadline. Other than that, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm watching these guys, and it's like, all right, cool. It's okay. All right, whatever. Because we're a playoff team. We're the world champions. They got to take it away from us.
Yeah.
They got to come and get it. It's not something that we're just going to give it up and bye bye. And a month can make a big difference, but I don't think it drops them down lower than 6. 6 is like the lowest I see them falling in the standings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said. I think that's where we're at. I think we are going to be in a position where evaluation is key right now, and that's good. I think it's these opportunities are always good for everybody else on the team to showcase what their talent. And so, Dennis Schroeder, this is your time. Kyle Kuzma, I mean, please show something. And so I think you just go down the line, and I think it'll be good because all these guys will be tested. Whoever it is that's here come playoff time, they'll be tested, and they'll be able to take on a bigger role.
It was funny how Kuzma was compared to Kobe. It was like hilarious. Pete, when he was coming up, like his first year, he had the Kobe-ish, but he's nothing compared to Kobe.
Wow. Yeah, we can compare.
There's people out there. Like I said, the internet always wins, and they have the craziest things out there. It's like, are you serious? Are you seriously gonna put this out? I'm like, you can't be any crazier than I am. You can't put anything out crazier than what I say. But there's some crazy stuff out there. There's some crazy stuff out there that's like, whoa, I would never have thought about it. My mind is always going. My mind is always moving at 100 miles an hour. But you can't think these things. Kobe and Kuzma. I heard Clarkson and Kobe. It's like,
yikes. Yeah, you see, these are the people that need to be reported, and they need their they need their stuff suspended. So, um,
I did want to, since this is my first podcast with you, I did want to bring something up, and you did say in your last podcast that I wasn't able to talk about
here
the
we
replay.
go. Okay.
No replay, no replay. Ah,
Yeah.
I might see it the same way you do.
Okay.
You said take it away, right?
Yes.
So how far would you take it away? The whole thing, or would
The whole
you?
thing.
Why the whole thing?
Because
You
it's
think
not
this is a
working.
flawed? You
It's
think
not
it's a flawed
working.
system?
It's not working.
Okay.
It's one thing to I understand if you're gonna review it because you're gonna get it right. I get it.
Okay.
But they're reviewing it and then they still get it wrong. And all you're
So
doing to the product is you're making the product worse. I'm
because it's a
watching
timeout.
Yeah, I'm watching these games with the flow, with the momentum, this, that, and the other. It went out. Oh, and then you get the players who are doing the turnaround. Okay, well, let's review it, and you get this really good game that turns into 10 minutes of us watching the same replay. You're like, how long does it take to look at this?
Yeah.
I saw it once, and I know who should get the ball. So I just think we shouldn't review whether it's a block or charge. I understand if you're doing the hey, I don't know if his foot was on the line, and they'll do that during the timeout where the referee will make the signal,
Yeah.
hey, we got to check that. I get that. Makes complete sense. But when we're doing this, okay, whose hand did it go out from? And you're getting these like replay.
Yeah.
It's are we are
I
what?
actually like that. I
I
actually
hate
like
that.
that.
But they don't even get it right most of the time.
I actually like that for the last 2 minutes,
I
and
hate
only
it.
the fourth quarter. Only the
I
fourth quarter.
I hate it because it one of the things that's beautiful about basketball is the flow, the momentum. During COVID, and I
Yeah.
was watching these old games. One of the things that was amazing of those games, the flow, just how it
Hmm.
went back and forth. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna tell me you're doing this to get the calls right, get
Get
the
them right.
calls right.
Yeah.
Get the damn calls right. If you're not gonna get them right, don't do this replay. Get it out of here. We don't need it.
It
It's
did.
affecting the game more.
Did we change spots by any chance? You're
I
getting a little. You're getting a little too crazy here.
I look. I've
I'm
had.
usually the one that gets really
I'm caffeinated. I'm awake. Uh,
good.
yeah. So yeah, I just I hate the replay in the NBA so much. Hate it.
I I think it should only be like out of bounds plays. That's it. Everything else, like was it a foul? Was it a charge? Was it any of that? That should go away because players are crying about hand checks, but back in the days, hand checks were legal. Now you barely touch them, they stop the game, they call it a foul, and here we go. It's all like it's so soft now, soft like Charmin, like my boy Kobe said. They're just soft. Like just go play the game. Like stop crying over everything. And this is you brought this up earlier. The only reason I like LeBron James, I hated LeBron James before he came to LA. The only reason I like him is because he's an LA Laker. Before he came to LA, I was the number one LeBron hater. Why? Because he cried. He cried for every little thing. Like, dude, stop crying. Just play the game. And then the whole comparison of, again, back to what we talked about. You say King Ryan. You talked about that in a couple of podcasts back. We talked about it. We were there. I forgot it. After I listened to it again, it came up. Why give him the king when he wasn't the king yet? He just came to the NBA. The guy has been given everything throughout his whole career. Yeah,
Mm.
he's proven this here and there, but come on, to compare him with Kobe and Jordan before he even started his career, it's like, do you think as of today has is he in the same conversation as Kobe and Jordan?
LeBron?
Yeah, yeah, LeBron,
Oh
Larry
man,
Bird.
you want to fight, huh?
I want to fight. I feel like fighting. Let's fight. Do you think so? I don't think so.
I think LeBron's better than Kobe.
How?
I think he's a better passer than Kobe. I think he's a better defender than Kobe. I think
Well,
he's a
Kobe never
better.
passed the ball. Number one.
He's
So
a better.
get that out of your head. Get
He's
that
a
out of your
he's a
conversation.
better. I just think he does. I think the only thing Kobe does better than LeBron is shooting. But I'm not even going by stats. I'm just going by just the fluidity. Obviously, Kobe has. You want to throw the rings. I guess he has more rings. Kobe was a killer in a way that LeBron isn't. Kobe, um, he was an amazing scorer, but I just think LeBron scores with more ease and yeah, I think LeBron is a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant.
Wow. If you lose a lot of followers, you know why. I'm about to unfollow his podcast, man. Even if I'm on it. Wow.
Is this your last appearance?
This is my.
You're not gonna come on anymore?
How could you say that? When did LeBron ever come out in a dunk contest? Kobe did.
Okay, but are we judging
He
him on a
won.
dunk contest? Is that really what we're doing?
No, he cared about the game. Kobe was about the game. This guy's about things that are just.
I mean, Kobe had a rap album, bro. I don't know. I don't know how. I mean,
that was just fun. He just won a championship. When you win a championship, you can do whatever you love, whatever you like.
I don't know.
Shaq had one too. Wow.
But how is he better?
I can't believe you. I can't believe you. See, I knew my blood pressure was gonna go up right before this podcast ended. I knew it. I knew you were gonna say something dumb, and I'm gonna go crazy, and this is gonna be. I'm gonna freaking delete your number. I'm gonna delete everything. Just go away, German. You're out of my life.
Oh man!
So LeBron James is your Mount Rushmore right now.
I think he's better than Kobe.
Of greatest basketball players ever.
Yeah,
top 5
ever.
Go. Top 5.
Jordan, LeBron. Magic. No, Kareem. Magic and Russell.
You said Magic twice.
No. I meant Kareem. Kareem's 3, Magic's 4, Bill Russell's 5.
Larry Bird is not even in the conversation?
Well, you asked me for 5.
I was just saying top 5 is not even in the conversation.
I think he's in the top
LeBron,
10.
Okay, I agree with your top 4 except LeBron.
He's
Larry Bird in.
No. Larry Bird, Kobe, Shaq, Duncan, they're all top 10. But Larry Bird is not better than LeBron James. He's not.
Different era. I don't think LeBron would survive in Larry Bird's era. I don't think LeBron.
What are you talking about?
I don't think LeBron is
6'8", 240, 275. He doesn't survive. What do you mean?
I don't think he survives in the 80s. I don't think he survives in the 90s. I don't think he survives in the early 2000s.
Come on.
Early 2000s.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. This is straight out of the heart.
Oh my gosh. LeBron is
LeBron does not survive in those eras.
Built different.
Kobe survives in every single era.
Okay, sure. There's no way.
Jordan maybe survives in the 80s.
So okay,
if you know Jordan was getting bullied by the Detroit Pistons back in.
You have Kobe number 1 overall?
No.
Who's number 1?
MJ.
So your 5 is what? MJ, Kobe, Kareem, Magic, and Bill?
Bird.
Oh, Bird. Okay. Yeah, man. That's going to be a no for me, dog.
LeBron is like in my top maybe 20.
Oh, come on. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this podcast right there.
No, I said top 20. You don't even
Top
know where he lands at
20.
top 20.
What do you? Okay,
Maybe
where does he land? Top 20. It's where? Please tell me, please.
I would say
Oh my
8.
gosh. Oh,
8. I just want to say top 20 so I can make you think, so I can make your head think a little bit more. He's
oh
number 7. He's like number 7, I would say.
my gosh.
Maybe 6. I'll give him 6. I'll say 6, just to be fair to you.
Okay.
He's just not in my top 5.
Your personal top 5.
In the top 5.
Okay. Okay. So on that note, on that ridiculous note, we'll end this. We'll end this podcast right there. We'll have another. We'll have another.
Should we have a Twitter poll over it?
We'll have another. We'll have another poll right now. Hey, by the way, you're losing the other one right now, as it stands.
With all your friends, voting on your stuff. I'm not an active Twitter. I said IG.
I'll put it on IG.
Post it on IG. Put it on IG
today.
Put it on IG.
I'll put it on IG today.
You text all your friends, all your 150 friends to vote on this on your. Absolutely. How many Twitter? Let me see how many Twitter followers you have. Let me just make sure.
Absolutely not.
No, you send them an individual message.
While Harry's doing that, thank you so much for listening to the Brewed Thoughts podcast. You can follow me at German4. Yeah, you can follow me at Germ4 on Twitter, on Instagram. You can do that for great content. And you can follow the Brewed Thoughts podcast on Twitter and on Instagram. And we have you covered with all things coffee and all things podcast. Harry, this has been fun. As always, I'll see you later in the week. You can listen to our podcast anywhere. And you can follow us anywhere. Please rate, review, subscribe. Tell somebody about our podcast. We're giving you free entertainment. Where else are you getting entertainment? So check us out. Give us a review. 5 stars, 5 stars. Drink better coffee.